A week ago, the horrible massacre in Itamar. That is not the question. The question is what took them so long in the last year. And actually, I guess the answer is Avinu Shebashamayim has a lot of rachamim on his mercy on his sons, because the situation, the quiet that, thank God, we had in last year was not natural. It was like the quiet before the storm. And the storm is starting now. And it was obvious that it is going to come, and it's coming. We'll probably get missiles again from the north as well, from Hezbollah. And here we have everything, the whole fire again, starting from the beginning, as we saw a few times before, since the Oslo process started in the middle of the country, in Yesha, in Jerusalem, in the cities within the Green Line, in the south, and probably also in the north. And that will lead, and again, I'm not a Navi, I'm just giving you a scenario that I'm running the same movie again. We were there a few times already. That will bring the Israeli leadership into a position that they will have to somehow react to that in order to stay in power. And there will be another military action like Oferet Yitzukah, cast lead. Number 2, go into Gaza, out of Gaza, into Lebanon, maybe bomb Lebanon, out of Lebanon. They can do everything besides winning. Because winning, meaning take over the land from the Arabs. But the whole concept of Oslo and the whole conscience of Oslo that took over all the leadership in Israel, left and right, Likud and Labor and Kadima, of course, is the peace process conscience, the concept of dividing the land. And the last thing we want is to go back to Gaza. And therefore we cannot win. But what will happen is that we'll go in this process of going in, achieving nothing, and going out, is that few Arabs will die. Because that's what happens when you going into a war, obviously. And then the pressure from the world will be on the Israeli leadership again, very strong pressure to come up with the continuation of the peace process, from some kind of a plan. And then you'll see again plans like the Hitnatkut, the disengagement plan. And that will lead to another election in Israel, and the whole story. And again, not that I'm a Navi and I know exactly how things are going to be, and it's not, and history never repeats itself exactly, but basically we see the written word on the wall. So nothing's changing. Almost nothing. Something, what I just explained can bring you to some kind of despair. But in the background, something is starting to change. Something different, something that we did not see before. And I spoke about it on Monday night in our dinner. The Israeli society beginning to realize that there is no peace solution anywhere in the horizon. And therefore, they're starting to feel more solidarity with the settlers and with the settlers' ideology. And I'll talk about it soon, but before I'm getting into it, and this is very, very important, because the whole ability of the Israeli leadership to continue in the same process is to give the Israeli this false feeling that there is some kind of solution somewhere along the way, some kind of peace waiting for them somewhere. But once they understand that there is no peace, then things starting to change. What is the two sides to the conflict in Israel? What do they want? We all in Israel and in America, every Israeli and a person who lives in the Western world, and we all taught to believe that the conflict is about land, as Shmuel said. We want to have our Jewish state, and they want to have their so-called Palestinian state. And therefore, and because we both want our sovereignty, our states at the same piece of land, we should somehow divide the land, achieve peace, and solve the problem. Well, in 1947, actually in February 1947, the question of the land of Israel was brought to the UN. The British mandate was about to finish, and what to do, the conflict, the question of what to do, what should the world do with the conflict in the land of Israel was brought to the UN, the entire world. And Ernst Bevin, who was the foreign minister of Britain, of England, a big anti-Semite, came to the UN to explain to the world what both sides want. What is the goal of both sides? So we'll understand what is the conflict about. And he said the following. He said, what the Jews want, their goal is to establish a Jewish state in the land of Israel. That is the Jewish side of the formula. What the Arabs in Eretz Israel want, by the way, he did not use the term Palestinians. I guess he did not heard it before. However, what the Arabs in Eretz Israel want, their goal is that the Jews will never have a state anywhere in the land of Israel. So this goy, this anti-Semite, who ruled that country in the last 30 years, because the British mandate was then 30 years already, and knew very well what's going on, told us the truth already then. It's not you don't have here two sides who wishes to have their country, who wishes to have sovereignty in Eretz Israel. No, you have the Jews who do, and the Arabs that don't. The last thing they want is a Palestinian state. This is not what they're dreaming about. This is not what they care. What they want is that the Jews will not have.